What's up? What's good? What's happening? And welcome back to She Wants It All podcast. I go by Lou. And thank you so much for listening to another episode. With this podcast, we're going to talk about a variety of different topics, but primarily we're going to talk about the ups and downs of womanhood and the complex journey that womanhood entails. In this episode, we're going to be talking about your 20s and your 30s. Yeah, your 20s and your 30s. So I'm not sure if this is going to be one episode or broken down into two, but I hope that this episode is enjoyable. Yeah, let's get started. Ooh, your 20s. Your 20s is a very interesting time in your life. Your 20s go by so quick. I remember when I turned 20. I remember when I turned 21 and I blinked for 5 seconds. Next thing I know, I'm 30. Your 20s go by so fast. And I can understand why so many 20-year-olds are trying their best to enjoy that time as much as they can. Do they do some stupid stuff sometimes? Yes. Yes, they do. They do. I think that has a lot to do with lack of experience. But there are 20-year-olds out there that are very, very mature for their age, I think. I would like to think that I was one of them. But at that age, you're still trying to find yourself. You're still trying to figure out who you are, what you like. You're still trying to figure out your purpose. You're still trying to figure out what you want to major in if you're in school, because that's going to dictate what you do for the rest of your life. You're trying to figure out your career path. You're trying to, figure out or have some kind of a love life. So your 20s is a very pivotal point in your life. And I mean, some people do go through some of those things in their 30s as well. Not everybody has it figured out in their 20s. Some people do, but they're just one in a few. Your 20s is quite a confusing time. It really is a confusing time. It really is. But it goes by so quick. It goes by so quick. So quick. Would I go back? No. No. I really feel like the mindset that I have now at 30, if I had this mindset in my 20s, sometimes I think like, man, I wish I had this mindset in my 20s. If I had this mindset in my 20s, there's a lot of things I would have done different. I really do think there's a lot of things I would have done different. I feel like a lot of times in your 20s, you're a people pleaser. You try to be a people pleaser. You're not quite sure how to be an adult yet. Even if you're taking care of yourself and all that stuff, you're still a people pleaser. You're still trying to find that balance of not being a kid, but not too sure of what being an adult is. You know what I mean? Let me tell you something. In your 30s, you don't give no irks. You don't give none of that. You don't give no irks at all. At all. The way that I'm quick to snap and put somebody in their place in my 30s, with the quickness, I did not have that in my 20s. I did not have that in my 20s. As much as and I'm not a confrontational person, but I like my peace. I like my space. I know what I like now. I know what I want now. And I don't have to please nobody but myself and the good Lord above, of course. You know what I mean? So if I had that mindset in my 20s, we'll know a lot of things differently. Yeah, your 20s, it's a fun time. It's a fun time. You're still young and you're able to do certain things and make certain mistakes that you should be able to bounce back from. Now, not all the time, because some of the choices you make in your 20s, again, is going to dictate the rest of your life. Not all the time. I don't mean like crazy mistakes like, getting a record and ending up in jail and stuff like that, or breaking up someone's family like that. I don't mean like that. I don't mean like that. I mean like, fail a couple classes or switching majors last minute or, something like that. Or dropping out of school to pursue your dreams. You know what I mean? I'm not saying anybody should do that, but I'm just saying like, a lot of people do that in their 20s because they're trying to find their purpose. And sometimes it may not be a 9 to 5, but that's a individual circumstance. That's an individual decision. It's different for everybody. But yeah, your 20s is a fun time. It's a fun time. It is a fun time. It is a fun time full of naivety. Is that a word? Naivety? I don't know. A fun time. You can be very naive, very people pleasing, but all in all, it is a fun time. Your 20s is supposed to be fun, and I think for the most part it is. But again, it's depending on circumstance. Your 20s is just really about finding your identity, finding your purpose. For a lot of us, finding love, and just trying to figure out who you are as an individual and truly learning how to love that individual. You go through so much changes in your 20s. So much changes in your 20s. It's crazy how much you change in your 20s. I really think that's the core of what your 20s is. Now, I don't know who lied to us and said that being an adult was fun. I don't know who lied to us and said that being an adult was the bee's knees. It ain't. It's the ghetto. It's the ghetto. It just is. Sometimes it's the ghetto, honey. I mean, you don't have to answer to anybody. I understand that. You own your own place. Well, most people own their own place. Some people are not financially able to live on their own right now. Or some people have roommates. You live off on your own. You're working. You're in school. You're paying your own bills. It's the ghetto, child. It's the ghetto. It's the ghetto. It just is sometimes. Like, man, being an adult is expensive. It's expensive. Sometimes I miss when I was a kid and didn't have to worry about bills. I didn't have to worry about my credit score, child. I didn't even know what credit score was. I didn't have to worry about taking care of another human being. Some days I think like, man, I really wish that I enjoyed being a kid a lot more. Now, was it hard living in someone else's household and following their rules? Of course. But there was always food on the table. The bills were always paid. The only thing I had to worry about was getting good grades and trying to look fly when it was time for back to school for that first week. Being an adult is hard. It's hard. It really is hard. You definitely want to be careful of who you have around you. I will say that sometimes your friends don't have your best interests at heart. I've never been a very friendly person. That's just how I am. I can be friendly when I need to be, and I think I'm a nice person, but I'm not that nice. And I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm not that nice. I don't know if I'm just always in protection mode all the time, but I don't like people sometimes. Like, I don't like people sometimes. Let's just be real. I don't like people sometimes. I don't. People are shady. People are fickle. People change with the wind. 1 minute they love you, 1 minute they hate you. They get jealous over the stupidest things. If they're not doing well, you shouldn't be doing well either. You know what I mean? I don't really like people that well. Probably I don't have a lot of friends, but my husband's very antisocial, but I don't think I'm antisocial at all. I'm just very protective of my peace. I'm very protective of my peace. I'm very protective of my family. So, yeah. And people stay peopling. Like, people always gonna be peopling. I think that's why I don't like people. But anyways, always try to have a good support system around you. And it doesn't necessarily have to be friends. It could be family. for me, it was my older sibling. You know, me and my sister lived together for years, and my older brother, like I talked to them about everything. So it was always good having them around and having people to talk to and get advice from. And days when I needed cheering up, days when I needed a good laugh, days when I needed someone to spot me $20 just to go get a McChicken at McDonald's. You know what I mean? So it's always good to have a good support system. And if it is friends, I hope that you have good friends around you. Friends, real friends, should never be afraid to give you constructive criticism. Real friends should never be afraid to tell you when you are not living up to your fullest potential. Real friends should be there to help you when you are down. Real friends should help you, real friends should be there when you feel, you know what I mean? They should be there when you feel, and they should be there when you get back up. They should be the main ones trying to encourage you and pushing you to get back up. Those are real friends to me. They're going to be there with you when you're struggling. They should be there with you when you're accomplishing amazing feats as well. Those are real friends. And those are not easy to find. Real friends should not be jealous of your accomplishments. They shouldn't be jealous of your happiness. They shouldn't be jealous of your blessings. Those are real friends. So if you do have real friends around you, I would say hold on to them and reciprocate that love, reciprocate that support to them, because they're probably going through the same things you're going through. And of course, depression was a big thing. There were many times I was depressed, whether it was with school. I went to nursing school, and I can't tell you how many classes I failed. Nursing school is hard, y'all. Just anything in the medical profession in general is hard. It's hard. I can't tell you how many nursing classes I failed. And I was depressed a lot. Going to school, working how many jobs, trying to pay my bills, and then having a love life on top of that. You know, being in a committed relationship since I was like, 21, 22? I don't remember. Dealing with that as well, and, you know, trying to be present in that relationship and still trying to figure life out. It can be hard. It can be hard. It can be a hard time. Yes, I had a lot of depression seasons too, trying to figure out where I was going. I feel like you're not gonna figure it out until like maybe like your late 20s, and sometimes your early 30s or even later. You know, so give yourself a little bit of a leeway. Give yourself a little bit of grace. You know, you're not gonna have it all figured out overnight. You're not gonna have it all figured out overnight. Yes, but I know your 20s can be very, very, very tough. Very tough. And something else about your 20s, alcohol don't really taste that great. I was so excited to turn 21 and have some alcohol. I mean, you know, I had a little bit before that, but I was so excited to finally be able to drink alcohol legally. It didn't taste that great. I mean, I like the sweet stuff, but the aftertaste and the bitterness, it's not. It's alright, you know. It's nothing to, you know, write home about. It's alright, I guess. But I mean, it tastes like fermented earwax to me. Sometimes sweet fermented earwax, but you know, it's got that kind of bitter aftertaste. I'm not that crazy about it, you know, not at all. Sometimes when I'm like tired and the kids, you know, overwork me, I'll drink a glass of wine, but not that crazy about it at all. Yeah. So yeah, definitely your early 20s trying to navigate being an adult. That can be rough. It can be rough. And even if you are, you know, when you're depressed, if you're depressed trying to figure it out, trying to figure your life out, take a deep breath, breathe, and honestly try to do something for yourself. Even if that's watching Netflix and eating some ice cream, or watching your favorite movie and eating some popcorn, or just going out to get your nails done. If you can't afford to get your nails done, get you some cute little press-ons. Do a home, manicure and pedicure. Do something to kind of take care of yourself and try to ease your mind a little bit to not think about what's going on. It's okay to take time for yourself, even if you're broke. Because I know a lot of us is broke in our 20s. I was there. I was broke in my 20s too, so I get it. But try to take some time to enjoy yourself. Listen to some music. Like I would, all the time, I would just put on some music, cook some good food, and sit home and just watch TV just to ease my mind. Literally, music is what helped me get through it. And I would say be a little conscious of what you're listening to. I like the sad music sometimes to kind of help me, the somber music to kind of help me feel what I'm feeling. But I don't stay there too long, if you know what I'm saying. Sometimes I'll put on some inspirational music. Sometimes I'll put on some gospel. Sometimes I'll put on some R&B so I can sing along and riff along to the song. You know what I mean? I don't stay there too long because I have to get myself out of that rut. I have to get myself out of that dark place to figure out what my next move is, or just to brighten up my mood. And there's nothing wrong with music like that at all. I don't know. I feel like right now, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, but I feel like right now it seems to be like a trend just to make music like that. And I'm really hoping that people are making music like that more to help people that are going through depression or going through something like that than to just make profit off of people's suffering. You know what I'm saying? I really hope that they're making music like that to help people feel what they're feeling, feel that dark place, feel that, whatever it may be, loneliness or inadequacy, help them feel it and slowly help them get out of it. I really hope that that's their purpose of making music like that. Depression is not something to joke about at all. It can kill. So I really hope that people aren't using that just for profit and not using it like it's some kind of fad. Mental health is real. It's real. But anyways, there was a lot of that going on as well, just trying to figure things out. All in all, when it comes to your 20s, just have fun, or try your best to have fun. For me, having fun was just hanging out with my sister, my siblings, just being able to afford a dinner at Red Lobster and just sitting down and chit-chatting. That was fun for me. For some people, it's going to the clubs, I'm not a club person. I never was a club person, but if that's your thing, be safe. Be safe and have people that you trust around you. It's okay to not have it all figured out. I know I've said that a lot of times, but it's the truth. It's okay to not have it all figured out. You'd be surprised how many of us are about to be 30 or already in our 30s, and we're reevaluating a lot of things in our lives. We're trying to figure out different things. We're trying to get out of our comfort zone because we feel like it's not where we should be. So nobody has it all figured out in their 20s, especially not your early 20s. Especially not your early 20s. Yeah. And as for relationships, I feel like that's just something that is just different for everybody. Some people don't want a very serious relationship in their 20s, especially early 20s. Some people don't want that. Some people don't want marriage. Some people don't want to have kids in their early 20s. And I get it because that's the time we don't get back. In regards to relationships, I think it depends on the individual. I was in a serious relationship throughout my early 20s. Ended up getting married, and now I have 2 kids. But we were both in the right state of mind for that. And of course, women mature a lot quicker than men. Again, don't blame us, blame biology, okay? women mature a lot quicker than men. So I get that a lot of women who are ready for that in their 20s tend to go after older men. Go figure. But I don't blame you. And honestly, just take your time. Take your time. Even with that, even if you feel like it's I'm gonna say something different. Take your time, but when it comes to a man, if the man is mature enough and you see he's mature enough and he knows what he wants, when a man knows what he wants, he's gonna go after what he wants. Point blank, period. To me, that's it. If a man, no matter how old he is, 25, 26, 27, whatever, if 24, if he's mature enough and he knows what it is that he wants, and if that's you, he's gonna go for it. He's gonna go for it. It's based on the individual person. So if you are trying to look for love in your 20s, hey, more power to you, and I wish you the best of luck. I know dating right now in the social media age can be a little rough. It can be scary, very scary. But again, protect yourself. And this goes for men, women, everybody. Protect yourself. If something doesn't feel right, or your gut and your intuition is telling you like, hey, be careful. This person ain't it. I would listen. It's okay to have things that, besides having your me time, making time for yourself to just relax and treat yourself. It's okay to have things that keep you grounded. I guess almost like hobbies or different things that bring some kind of enjoyment, or fulfillment out of you besides working and dealing with adult life and, going to school or trying to figure out where your life is going. For me, it was writing. I like to write. I like to sing. And of course, my spirituality, my personal relationship with God. That's something that's always helped keep me grounded. For you, it could be painting. It could be singing. It could be creating content for YouTube, being a content creator on the side. It could be taking road trips with your homegirl, or just traveling in general. Just certain things to kind of help you keep you grounded and keep you out of that dark place. I feel like we've all been there, or a lot of us have been there, especially in your 20s, trying to figure life out. I feel like we've all been there. We've all been in that dark place, trying to figure out who we are and what's our purpose. Are we good enough to even be loved? I feel like we've all been there. And some of us are going through it right now, and some of us haven't been there yet. But I feel like it's something that we all go through. Yeah, it's gonna be okay. Even if it doesn't feel like it right now, even if Bobby broke up with you and now you're trying to figure out what you're gonna do now because he was your everything, it's gonna be okay. It gets better. Trust me, it gets better. It gets better. The more you focus on loving the person that you are and loving the person that you are becoming, learning from your mistakes, and trying to do better and better every day. Because of course, when you know better, hopefully you do better. Trying to be a better version of yourself every day, it gets better. It definitely gets better. And I'm not too sure. I was watching a sermon a couple months ago with a Mike Todd sermon. And he was talking about how, of course, his mindset is different at 30 than it was in his 20s. But that period of 25 to 30, there's just such a shift that happens in your mind. And he's like, it's just life. And he doesn't understand why that happens. And I was like, yo, like, that's facts, man. Bruh. That's facts. Like, 25 to 30, I don't know what it is, but your mind just does a complete just like that. I don't know what it is. I mean, you go through things in life, that just change you as a person and makes you realize what's really important. Start prioritizing different things. You start wanting to show the people in your life that you love and that you care for, how much you love and care for them. I know for me, 25 to 30, yeah, we went through some things. I went through some things. I don't know what it is. Just that shift, And it was pretty interesting hearing a man say that, because, they say men are like 10, 15, sometimes 20 years behind when it comes to maturity in comparison to women. But it was interesting hearing him say that. But yeah, that 25 to 30 year, child. And another essential thing about your 20s is learning that everybody's walk is different. Everybody's purpose, everybody's blessing, everybody's gift is gonna be different. And that's something that I had to learn the older that I got, the more and more that I appreciate that. Comparison is the thief of joy. And with social media, it's become so hard not to compare yourself to other people. And you have to realize that social media, not much of it is real. I would say maybe like 3/4 of it isn't real. People are only posting the good times. They're only posting the happy times. They're only posting the lovey-dovey times. They're only posting the amazing accomplishments, they have in their lives. And you rarely see people post the bad times, the times that they're struggling, the times that they go through heartache, the times that they fail. You hardly see people post that. So when you're going through the journey of trying to figure out who you are, trying to figure out what your purpose is in life, or even trying to hone your gift, once you figure out what that gift is, because some of us don't even know what our gifts are until later on in life. So if you're able to, know what your gift is at 20, focus on your gift. Your gift is different from your friend's gift. It's different from your sibling's gift. It's different from that girl you went to high school with. It's different from her gift. And there's always something in us that makes us extraordinary. And I feel like sometimes we're afraid to tap into that. We're afraid to tap into that because we're always comparing ourselves to somebody else. And that's where we lose focus. Focus on your gift, especially if you know what that is. Some of us are still trying to find it, but you can go on your own spiritual journey and own spiritual awakening of finding that. But I'm learning that sometimes I have to unplug from social media. For me, I have such a love-hate relationship with social media. Social media is a blessing, but it's also filled with so many curses. I'm learning that I need to unplug sometimes. Sometimes I spend weeks, sometimes I spend months off social media, to the point where I forgot how to use Facebook the other day. Because I just logged in, and I don't think I've logged in for like a month and a half. On Instagram as well. I have Snapchat on my phone. Sometimes I go weeks or even a month without even going on there. Sometimes you just need to unplug. And I say that because we're all human. We're all human. We've all been to the point where we compare ourselves to somebody else. Or where we feel like we're inadequate. Or we feel like, what do we have to offer the world? We don't have the gift that person has. Or we don't have the way of executing our gift the way that person has. Because some people do have the same gifts. But nobody can execute your gift. Nobody can present your gift to the world the way that you can. I think that's what makes people different. But Some people it's music, some people play instruments, some people it's singing, some people it's teaching, some people it's encouraging, some people it's nurturing. There's so many different things out there, but learn how to unplug. If you have to put it on your calendar, even if it's for a week every month, learn how to unplug, and I promise you it will help you mentally. The less and less that I've programmed my mind to always be on social media, honestly, the more and more happier I've been, the more and more at peace I've been. I only share what I feel comfortable sharing. I don't know if that's why I ain't got no friends, but I only share what I feel comfortable sharing. That's it. I don't owe anybody on social media to share any part of my life. I don't. But I do love encouraging people because life can be hard sometimes, and this is just a journey that we're all on together. Yes, we have different paths and things like that, but this is a journey that we're all taking together. And if we can figure out a way to help each other out as much as we can, even if it's the little things, even if it's just encouraging somebody or just checking up on somebody, if we can do that, or giving somebody a compliment, even if it's just giving somebody a compliment. So learn how to unplug. Learn how to unplug. I'm telling you, I really feel like how a lot of these young kids are so depressed now. I'm not saying that, depression wasn't here generations before, but it's crazy. It's crazy. It's you have to learn how to unplug. You have to learn how to unplug. There's a life outside of social media, a real life. There's so much life outside of social media. You have to learn how to unplug. It's just necessary. It's necessary. It really is. Yeah, that's what I really wanted to say about that, because the main thing I learned in my 20s, I would say the most important thing in my 20s, is to stop comparing myself to other people and realizing that when you do that, it's almost like, I'm a spiritual person. I believe in God. It's almost like you're saying, God is not big enough to bless me too. Or God's blessings that he has given to me and has on the way for me is not enough. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's how I see it. The same way that God can bless that person with their accomplishments, their dreams, and everything, he can do the same for me. But what's meant for me is for me. You know what I mean? What's meant for me is for me. What's meant for that person is for that person. God is big enough to bless me with the blessings that he knows are right for me, and he will do the same for that person. And that's just something that I had to learn. Was it hard to learn? Yes, it was very hard to learn. It was very hard to learn. Am I still learning it today? Yes. I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm still learning it today. There are some days that I have to say, okay, your mind is going in that direction again. Unplug. And I unplug. Plain and simple. I think that's just something that this generation has to learn, because a lot of you are, I'm a millennial, but the generation coming up, a lot of you don't know or don't even remember what the world was like without social media. And that's gotta be tough. That's gotta be tough. Learning how to navigate the world, learning how to socialize without social media, that's gotta be tough. And learning how important it is to get your mind right, and just how much of an impact social media has on your mental stability. It's okay to unplug. It is necessary. It's necessary to unplug. It is. It is. And with that being said, I think that's all I wanted to say for this episode. I hope that this was insightful. I hope it was enjoyable for you. And again, thank you for listening. I appreciate you for listening. And I will hopefully see you on the next episode. Bye bye.